suddenly longevity seems quite new to people when you tell them. Like, it's so unbelievable that they can live longer.
It's actually more of like everyone is doing in their own way, but no one has a definition for it. And I think we need to bring them all under the same umbrella, that is longevity. Because someone is trying to be fit, someone is trying to be healthy, someone is trying to keep chronic diseases away. But eventually, we are all trying to live a long and healthy life. That's the notion behind everything.
Yes,
So,
yes, exactly. Many people have their own versions and they don't even know that this term exists. But wellness is the more um, holistically used word, wellness for everything nowadays.
Especially today, organic and holistic wellness is the most abused term. I mean, I recently saw a place in Chennai where it said holistic wellness. Then I go inside and see what they're doing. They have dental, they have physiotherapy, they have dermat, they have all the allopathic teams sitting there. And I'm like, guys, this is not holistic. This is multi-specialist.
Right. Sorry to interject, but seems like the session's already begun and everyone's in with your points. But I just like to officially sort of call in the event and introduce everybody, and then I think we can start off with the panel. All right. So once again, welcome to everyone here. I am Varsha, the Longevity Community Manager, and it's a pleasure to be here and a part of this fraternity. It's a pleasure to announce the very first longevity webinar exclusively by Decode Age. In today's session, we will be addressing how we are changing the narrative of aging with breakthrough scientific research and extensive age-reversing technology, also to create solutions that slow down biological aging. Also, allow me to introduce the panel here. Firstly, Mr. Darshit Patel, India's leading aging expert and co-founder of Decode Age. Dr. Samathatullah, functional and precision medicine and anti-aging expert who runs her own age management center in Hyderabad. Dr. Vishalam Ramanathan, functional medicine and precision nutrition. Dr. Preeti Nanda, we're waiting for her to join in. She will in a bit. She is a gut health expert and functional medicine practitioner. And Dr. Smita Karpate, entrepreneur and longevity researcher. She will also be moderating today's webinar as we go along. Before we begin, just some quick webinar etiquette. I would quickly like to tell you all that, we request everybody to refrain from interrupting while another panelist is speaking so that everybody gets their turn to pitch in. And for everyone else who's spectating, we request you to keep your audio on mute throughout the webinar. But if you all do have questions, there is a common forum available where you all can plug in your questions. And in the open session or in the when the session is open for queries and question and answer session, we'll address your questions there. Well, so without further ado, I just hand this over to the keynote speaker for today, Mr. Darshit Patel.
Well, thank you, Varsha. Thank you so much, everyone, for having your presence today. I would just like to wait for a minute or two for Dr. Preeti Nanda, if that's fine with the other panelists.
Also, another word in here, we are streaming live on YouTube, and in the meantime, if y'all could y'all can share the link with your peers, with the fraternity, with people that y'all know, so that they can join in live and view this event, because the more participants we have, the better it is.
It is my request to the moderator if we can start, considering that Dr. Preeti hasn't joined yet.
Varsha, is it possible for you to call her? She's struggling with the link.
Okay. Just a second.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Preeti.
Good morning.
Thank you. All right. I think we can start.
Good
Yes.
morning, Dr. Preeti.
Hi, good morning. Good to see
Morning,
you.
Dr. Preeti.
You too.
Okay.
Morning,
So,
Doctor.
hello and good morning, everyone. I'm going to start with a bit of a serious issue, okay? Is that one of the key problems that consume our countries and global health is the chronic diseases. Despite a century's worth of relentless efforts in healthcare, 9 major chronic diseases are still claiming 51% of the total health burden. While doctors, researchers, and pharma companies around the world are battling to reduce this impact tirelessly, we at Decode Age are on a mission to improve the health of the current generation to ensure we age healthy and pitting ourselves with the chronic diseases. As most of the doctors in this panel are aware of, most of the time it's the lack of awareness of healthy lifestyle, well-being, and mental health that causes chronic diseases. The lack of awareness also results in late diagnosis, causing the doctor and pharma researchers to be rendering to very little support in curing them completely, and focus on managing it at least to reduce the impact on the patient's life. All of this could be slowly reduced if we educate people on healthy lifestyle practices, holistic well being, and healthy aging. The trifecta of unresolved signs behind aging, lack of awareness of longevity, and increasing burden of chronic diseases paved the way to establish Decode Age, an institution of dedicated researchers, scientists, and health-oriented experts that is in a moonshot to decode and reverse the root cause of all chronic disease, that is aging. As pioneers of an industry that challenges every notion and predicament of healthcare that our country is currently holding, we also understand the power and need of a community that includes practicing medical and functional medicine professionals, researchers, academics, enthusiasts, and most importantly, the people and the patient themselves. We envision a collaborative effort of this community to redefine aging to longevity in India. It is an utter need of the hour to stop measuring us in lifespan terms. Rather, we should opt for the health span term, because we have come from an average lifespan of 39 to 69 in the past 50 years, but we are equally prone to chronic diseases in the middle age itself. Almost 60% of our total lifespan is what our health span is. The rest 40 is given to the diseases. For this equation to change, aging has to be decoded. Today, let us scratch the surface of the humongous mind that is aging. As far as I currently understand the biogerontological and the longevity sciences, there are three major schools of thoughts on aging. One is the genetic, which believe that aging is a programmed evolutionary process in our body. We have a theoretical limit of 120 to 125 years according to these people. The second school of thought is damage oriented. What they say is, let the metabolism happen, let the genes express. As soon as there is damage created, we remove that. For that school of thought, the theoretical limit of age is basically infinity, because they can actually foresee a longevity escape velocity. The third, not exactly a school of thought, but still a major influence, is lifestyle. The biohacking community has been an immense factor in taking longevity sciences to the people and the masses. After all, most chronic diseases are indeed lifestyle diseases. Now, none of these schools are competing or being better than anyone. In fact, if we put them all together, it provides one of the most holistic approaches to the individual's aging. This is one of the main motivation for the existence of Decode Age. Common to all the three schools of thoughts is one thing, that is biomarkers. If a disease is defined by 4 to 10 biomarkers, aging is defined by a plethora of biomarkers, mainly divided into three categories. The first is empirical, age-dependent nature of physiological, biochemical, and clinical parameters. The second is the aging mechanism oriented. It looks for changes in the mechanisms of aging, like the hallmarks of aging, the pathways and the genes involved in aging. The third one is what we love at Decode Age, the omics biomarkers. It's basically the big data that has been extracted out of your body, your genomics, your metagenomics, your microbiome data, your epigenetic data, your transcriptomic data, and your metabolomic data. But is that all? How do we take it a notch further to make people understand what a healthy community is? One of the major factors I consider is the question to the patient, how are you feeling? Because that gives us insight into frailty indices, something that a person is feeling with age. Imagine putting this all biomarkers in a bucket and then using a P4 approach, that is preventive, predictive, personalized, and participatory approach, which can be used to reverse the aging process and make it a short-term result-oriented goal rather than waiting for the next 80 years to see if we are actually aging healthy. Once we start reversing the age and associated damage, we add youthful years in our patients' lives. This has a lot of implications. The first one, obviously, is that the healthcare burden reduces on a longer term. The second is there is no denying that India has an oncoming silver tsunami, a Japan-like situation where older retired generation is much more than the younger generation, which creates a disruption in the economy. The third is influences on insurance, medical, retirement, and employment policies. But to talk more about this, you should contact my co-founders. The most important outcome that I feel comes out of this is the satisfaction and peace in seeing India celebrating long and healthy years, something that is aspired in every corner of the country, as we keep blessing others with a long life. Today, Decode Age makes a nationwide call to the healthcare community to make this a reality in our country. It is a call to researchers to come together and solve most complex problem in biology, doctors to help take this to the patients, and finally to people to come together and celebrate healthy aging as a festival. With that, I would like to hand this over to the moderator of the day, a good friend, a doctor by education, an entrepreneur by profession, and a healthcare strategist. Dr. Smita Karpate, over to you.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Darshit and Varsha, for setting the tone of today's webinar. So what we have our panelists, we already have done the introduction with them. The questions that we will be discussing with them and making sure that we extract as much as information from them today, I've divided the questions into 4 major categories. Basics of aging, absolutely basic. We going as a basic researcher, I have no idea what is it, and we have amazing people, pan-India level doctors over here. So let's ask them. Second is a patient perspective. All of our doctors are taking care of the patients on day-to-day basis, and I was amazed to know what level of awareness and what intervention is already happening. Second is the latest update. They are investing their time into researching, knowing, attending conferences and everything, and we are lucky to get to know that right over here in the webinar. And then a takeaway message from each one of you, how you are making sure the longevity is a part of your life and how you're helping your patients or people or friends around us. And then the forum will be open for questions to all our wonderful audiences. There are many participants and we are live on YouTube. So questions will be open to all. Now I'll start my questions with basics of aging. Let's discuss what exactly is aging or longevity. Now I call myself longevity researcher, a student. I am probably the tiniest baby in the whole crowd. I just started learning about it. And when I said this to Dr. Visalam yesterday, she gracefully said that, aren't we all just learning? Is it not just new to everyone? Okay, so my first question goes to Dr. Preeti by saying that, do you think human really needs to age? Do we really need to age?
Thank you, Samita, for such a nice, clear introduction. And Darshit, I really liked what you said about celebrating. Because I think we all need to, first of all, set our minds in the stone that being healthy is a celebration. It's not a burden, right? And if that reshift or that shift can happen, a lot of what you are trying to do will automatically happen. Yeah. So your question, should human beings be aging? My answer is clear, no. Right? There is no science or paper which says you should age at this age, this should happen, at this age, this should happen, at this age, this should happen. No. But what the research tells us is that by the time you are 40, you get deficient in your mitochondrial activity. You become low on CoQ10. You are low on proteins. Because that is what researchers are seeing when they do any study or when they, interact with people. But why is it happening? There is a definite cause and we are the cause of that happening, right? So we should not age. Human beings should be able to live in 2 conditions. 1, the morning when you get up till the night when you sleep, your energy levels should be static, like your sugar levels. They should not fluctuate like this. If that is happening, something is not right. So I tell people, in all my talks, अगर आप जब सुबह उठते हो और रात को सोते हो, अगर एनर्जी लेवल सेम नहीं मेंटेन कर रहे हो तो just check. That is an alarm bell that something is happening which is not right and which should not be happening. Okay. Second, from the time you take birth to the time you leave this body, which is a dress or whatever you can call it, there is no space to be diseased. There should be no space to be diseased. The more time you spend in that space, जहां पे आप बीमार हो, जहां पे आपकी एनर्जी ठीक नहीं है, जहां पे आप फोकस से काम नहीं कर पा रहे हो, you are wasting your time on this lovely earth. There is so much we have to do, and वो हम तभी कर सकते हैं अगर हम पैरामीटर सही रखें and disease के पार्ट को निकाल कर बाहर फेंक दें. And I think I compliment you all that you have decided this decode age and aging, because whatever weeds you will find, and together we can help people take them off, we will create an environment where there will be no aging happening. People would be enjoying their space in this, on this earth, and will be able to do what they are here for.
Wonderful. So what I understand is we all are aging, right? Like I celebrate my birthday every year, but how do we age, and how whether we can live a disease-free life in future, and how I spend my day, that's the takeaway message. And me being a pharmacologist, I keep reading about molecular mechanism of everything, and mechanism of action of everything, and that's what Darshit and me discuss most of the time. So my question to Dr. Sam, in continuation to what Dr. Preeti said, is how do we exactly age then? Like, I know that I should, what she said is important, but how we age, and what's the science behind it? I know I'm aging, but what's the science behind it?
Thank you for a very good start from all of you, Darshit and Dr. Preeti. I think she unknowingly has spilled many beans over the same question, and which is very nice to hear. See, there have been many different theories. One would say it's wear and tear that is happening. It's programmed aging that is happening. That means we are bound to have certain DNA falling short, or all these theories. And there are certain biochemical theories. There's genetic theories. With so many different theories, now we have a consolidated data or science which say that there are certain things which are happening early in your life, either because of the environment that we live in, or the toxins that we are exposed to, or the kind of nutrition that we're having, kind of exercise we're doing, or certain chemicals or smoking, or whatever epigenetic variations are. Depending on everything, we are exposed to certain different signs that is happening inside our body that tends to show if we are aging early than our chronological age. Now we have a different definition. I could be 35, but I don't know what my biological age or how my physical body is aging. Is it going parallelly, or am I aging prematurely, or delaying my age? It's all in our hands today. It is not programmed anymore. That is what Dr. Preeti is trying to tell us. We can decide how we age rather than programming that you're supposed to live or age certain way. You're supposed to have your muscle strength only till certain age. That is all gone now. So what are these parameters if we look at it clearly? One, we would say telomere attrition, right? So the ends of DNA getting shorter, and we have different tests now going on board. Certain tests are already available. Certain tests will take time till they reach India. Like we have MyDNH, where we check the methylated DNA products, blood sample, and we receive the test within 4 to 6 weeks, which is very costly though. I hope that will soon reach India. But that is decided based on the epigenetic variations, that is the lifestyle or whatever moderations that we tend to have around DNA than specifically about genetics. And second very important thing is genomic instability, as we say. But genomics, again, is gaining very good people are now here to acknowledge about genomics as well, because we have personalized level multi-omics that is going on. How is your gut? How is your genetics? How is your epigenetics? How are your clinical tests? How are your markers, biomarkers? Now here we stand. We have these biomarkers now are available. Some do inflammatory tests like CRP, IL-6, TNF-alpha. Now we are going way beyond that to check how our omega-6 to 3 ratio is. all these will fall under biomarkers, I would say. And mitochondrial dysfunction, as Dr. Preeti rightly said, most of us have having mitochondrial dysfunction early in our life. So that is again an important parameter why and how we are aging or science behind it. Again, there is all altered way between the communicate, how the cells are communicating between each other, that is being altered. And subset of all these, now output of all these has become the cellular senescence, that is cells aging a little faster, stem cells being exhausted, because we know stem cells are capable of producing any cell in the body. We have them in our bodies, but they are exhausted way early in our lives, again, because of this epigenetic factors. And these are different variations or alterations, or the science behind aging is what many longevity experts have come to a theory point now. Yes.
So are we saying that it's about the mitochondria that we need to
Yes, it is
understand more?
mitochondria, the cells talking with each other, and the epigenetic variations, and the shortening of the telomere or the ends of DNA that is happening very early in our age, and the instability of the genomes as such. The more SNPs that we are developing, that is the changes in the genes, we call them SNPs, more SNPs that are happening in day-to-day life. So all these factors do make us age early or late, depends on how you're living your life, how your lifestyle is, what kind of habits you have, how is your nutrition, stress, very importantly, how much stress are you taking, how do you de-stress? So all these will determine your stem cells, your telomeres, your epigenetic variations, your genomic stability, all these are determined.
Got it. Okay, so end of the day, my own karma.
But this is the science here, right?
Yeah. Scientific thing. Yes. Thank you so much. And I think that takes me to my next question, which is for Dr. Visalam. And it also comes from a little bit of a digital marketing background, and anti-aging is the word that we keep searching. If I just go to Google, try to search longevity, more people are talking about anti-aging, and it's a little confusing. So what's the difference between, according to you, what's the difference between longevity and anti-aging? And you as a functional medicine practitioner, what's your take on longevity?
Thank you, Smita. Thank you, Darshit, Parth, Dr. Samatha, and Dr. Preeti. Very happy to be here. So, in simple terms, longevity is long period of life, wanting to live longer. Anti-aging is wanting to live younger. It has no limit of, I want to live for 100 years, 120 years. No, it is, even if I'm living 40, even if I'm living 50, even if I need to look young, I need to always look 20. So anti-aging to me is more aesthetic, whereas longevity is you can live 100 years, 120, 150 years and look the age, but still live longer. For me, that is longevity. Anti-aging is when I look younger. The age, the number age, irrespective of the number of the age. What is my take on longevity is, like what Dr. Preeti and Dr. Samatha said, is there is no science or paper saying at this age, this should happen to your body, right? But the society has put a certain things on this age you need to be on. School, college, marriage, children, work. So the society has put an age. So after 80, if you look into the society, we don't know what to do after 80. So that is my take on longevity. We should increase our terms of what to do after 80 as well. If you're living for 100, if you're living 100, 125. Like what, when I first met Parth and Dasha, I told them, imagine if we have a longer period of life. I don't think the humanity will be in a rush to achieve so many things. So by norms, the crime rate by itself will reduce because we have a lot of time to do whatever we want. There's no rush on it. For me, longevity is more wanting to stay on this planet for a longer period of time, and the spiritual aspect, find out your purpose, finish it, and move on to the next dimension. That to me is longevity.
Perfect. Awesome. And you were mentioning something about, like, I guess, Dr. I think I was discussing this before the webinar, and Dr. also Sam also added into this is anti-aging looks like more of an external, factor, whereas longevity is more of an internal. So when and anti-aging is quite a much a cosmetic way of looking at the longevity, whereas longevity per se, the lifestyle changes, the smaller changes that we are doing in our day-to-day life. So that's also one nice good information I've heard from her. And that's why I move to Dr. Sam again for my next question is, you're treating patients on day-to-day basis. Do you see any awareness? Are there patients, those who are coming to you, or people coming to you are asking about longevity? And if they're not asking, do you upfront, because we believe that this is one of the way that could be the answer of chronic diseases or many lifestyle diseases, then do you putting efforts to build any kind of awareness when people are walking to your clinic or when you're treating them?
Yes, these are very good questions. So we need to rephrase the word patient. In modern day medicine, the future medicine, we are not going to call them patients anymore. I call them clients. They are not turning patients yet. That is where the beauty lies in. We also hear nutritionists are going to be the next doctors in near future. I would say all the doctors in today's time should become nutritionists. I'm so happy that many of us, like in functional medicine, we practice nutrition is the most important part of it. So some of the patients or clients who walk to me into the clinic at Hyderabad, some people are already aware. Some talked about cryotherapy, some talked about infrared therapy. They have learned certain things along their way, listening to others on holistic wellness, multiple things. So they walk in and say, Dr. Samta, guide me. What should I be eating at this age? What are the tests that I should be doing at this age? Or just guide me. So the simple word we can frame around it is age management. So just manage me, be my family physician, guide me through the process. So yes, these clientele do come in. So how do we manage them? How do we age manage? We, as modern doctors, we are more aware of the newer tests that are coming in rather than doing CBT, LFT, RFT. Yes, they are bread and butter any day, but we can detect things more early now. We can detect free circulating DNA of tumor cells even before a tumor is formed. When we are aware of it and when we know the companies are doing this test, it's our duty as modern doctors to introduce this test to them. We know genetics, how to use genetics in today's world. Do we want to know pharmacogenomics? Do you want to know nutrigenomics? Do you want to apply their own genetics to alter their nutrition, or to put them on better medications, or to even give fitness recommendations? Yes, these tests are available. It's our duty to introduce them to them. And also preventive medicine here plays a very important role, along with chronic disease management. These are the two set of clients that I see the preventive healthcare and the chronic diseases. In the preventive healthcare comes all these biosensors, bio-tracking that we are doing. We are tracking the glucose. We are putting them on Aura Ring to see how well they are sleeping, to see how effective they are in the day. And we even have these new patches. They are still in the study process, yet to be released commercially. That simple patch on the chest can detect risk for heart attacks for people at risk. So how good and easy is that? And how you're saving their time and money in admissions when you're detecting these things and using this bio-tracking sensors to obtain data. So all these bio-tracking things, biotech that we're using today are going to be very useful for present and future medicine because we are monitoring their sleep, their UV exposure, their resting heart rate, their heart rate variability, their VO2 max. Many of them are using fitness watches. I think most of them are getting better by wearing them. They find inspiration. They can track real time what is happening. So all this will fall into age management using the data coming from a person's body, either through glucose or UV index or their body temperature or their heart rate, or the patches that are used to detect the heart rate, or the early predictive tests that we are doing. It could be genomics, or it could be early cancer detection for the people who had family history of cancers. How good is that? We can save their time and, we can detect early. So all these will come under age management, I would say. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. So what I understand is patients are aware. Clients or people
Clients are aware.
Clients are aware. They're coming to you with the specific solutions. See, I've corrected myself. Clients.
Yes.
But only thing is there are advanced diagnostics and everything is available. And it becomes doctor's responsibility to make sure that we also explain them what things are available so that they can go for it.
Yes.
So I like the term called modern doctors. Like it's a beautiful term.
Okay. I just use it on the way.
Beautiful. And we are moving to the another modern doctor over here, Dr. Preeti. So do you, everybody must be asking you, like, what's the secret of your, youthfulness? And, how come you look so young? If I ask in the way I probably ask. So my question to you is, we talked about biohacking and I think you're drinking something. So what are the, top things that you do for your longevity journey or your biohacking tips that you have, and do you advise the same to your patients? What exactly it is? I want to know your secrets.
Thank you, Smita. So when you say my, looking young and maybe my energy, so of course, yes, some biohacking tips do help me, but for others who don't know, I have two sons, 27 and 25, right? And of course, that's where it comes from. 6-7 years back, I used to look much older, but I think functional medicine or anti-aging medicine or personalized medicine or precision medicine or preventive medicine, right? Or Dr. Preeti's medicine or biohacking tips, whatever, it has really helped me. And I love myself for that, for being able to do it right. So just before I tell you my biohacking tips, I would definitely want to thank Dr. Samantha for bringing so much out to the audience in such little time. Of course, there's so much, so everything is not for everybody, right? And that's where modern doctors can play an important role. And that's when we should never treat ourselves, because what is it that will benefit me? Means, for example, I would crazy if I use an Apple Watch, because there is so much data there that I can't make sense of it. So I can't sleep. And if I keep making sense of the data which that watch gives me, then I'm not doing anything else throughout the day, right? So that's how much personalization is required. I have a lot of hacks and I'm going to share 3 with you. The first one is, I believe the whole universe is within us. So if anybody can see outside, or if anybody can visualize here outside, what is it that you see? We see plants, we see nature, we see animals, we see insects. All of that is within us. We have a whole universe. So I generally tell my people, आप बच्चों की शादी तो कभी-कभी करोगे ना? मतलब you have 1 child, 2, 3 maximum, right? How much effort you have to make sure that all the baratis or all the guests who come, they go back happy, right? Have you ever thought of having that wedding function inside your body every day? Imagine. And that's happening inside our body every day. And that's the type of effort we should make. That's the type of arrangement we should make if we have to do anti-aging for ourselves. And I think what I was drinking was one such arrangement. I was starting my day with my probiotic drink, right? North Indian हूँ, छाछ के बिना कुछ नहीं हो सकता मेरे यहाँ पर तो, ठीक है कि नहीं? And when I said starting my day, so you all guys know that I do intermittent fasting, at least 5 days a week, 16 hours. And this is my way of breaking my fast on a Sunday when I have no hurry, I'm relaxed, chill kar rahi hu. So that's my first biohack. I actually prepare to take care of my gut health in a way that I have baratis or many, many guests there, and I have to keep everybody happy. So 7 colors on my plate, lot of variety in my food is what I follow, because I can't do too much nitty-gritty. So I've made this hack 7 colors, and I know all the vitamins, minerals requirement will be done. So that's my first hack. To add to that hack, I do once in 3 months colon hydrotherapy, because that gives me an opportunity to reset my gut the way I like to do it. Because when I do colon hydrotherapy and then I eat desi ghee, a lot of it is done. And of course, we can do retention enemas of probiotics the way we like our gut to be. So a lot has come in our hands. So that's what I do for my gut health. Intermittent fasting, of course. Second biohack, which I do, is some supplements. So we all know sirtuins, mTOR, and AMPK. They are the 3 main pathways which are important for us to anti-age. Out of those 2, I have hacked. Sirtuins, simple to hack. I use resveratrol for that, 1 gram, right, every day. 500 grams is what I start with, milligrams. And now I've come to 1 gram in between, because I'm like exercising a little more. Of course, for AMPK, I use
Hello.
I think it's her network and she'll have to reload, I think.
So while she connects back,
sorry, I
Yeah.
don't know what happened.
Yeah, welcome back.
Third is I do breathing.
Okay.
Right? Abdominal breathing is so very critical if we need to stay young, stay happy, and stay energized. And I'm sure all of us do that. And the meditation formula which I follow is, they've taught us to do abdominal breathing while we are cleaning the house, karma, right? So when we are brooming, when we are walking, when I'm talking, over the years, I have got into this habit. And when I'm speaking to you also, I know that I am into abdominal breathing rhythm. So that's my third biohack, which I use. And I think I've started to learn to use it more effectively over the years.
Okay. So Decode Age, one of the co-founder with Decode Age, Rakesh, is there. So he's a biohacker, and he's trying hard to make sure that we also follow a healthy lifestyle along with that. So I started doing intermittent fasting. It's amazing. And I also take both the supplements that we talked about. So, moving to, and thank you so much. I have noted down the tips that you said. So my next question goes to Dr. Visalam here. Is you're also taking care of the patients on day-to-day basis. And I was amazed when I was discussing with you regarding the very basic things. We go to sometimes like very advanced science and we forget very day-to-day thing that we can do. So how do you help patients people to follow longevity pro lifestyle? So how do you do it?
Right. Thank you. So firstly, nobody walks into your clinic saying, "Doctor, I want to live longer." Even if that is the intention, right? Nobody comes to you and say, "I want to live longer. Can you help me?" Anyway, there's no guarantee that you can help them live longer. But what they come to you for is a disease-free life. For me, if I can keep them disease-free life, then they will eventually live longer unless there's an external factor. So when people walk into my clinic, there are a few things that I tell them that this is how my prescription will be. First one is surely diet. Second is movement. Third is mind. Fourth is sleep. Fifth is chemical detox. And sixth are nutritional supplements. This is where that all our prescription will revolve around, all our functional medicine doctors, Samatha or Dr. Preeti, all of us. So when it comes to diet, Dr. Preeti clearly said 7 colored vegetables. In case if you have 10, you do 10. Also, the time you eat, the combination of food that you take it along with also matters. And you have to give it good fats, carbohydrates, etc. That whole diet part is the first one. Secondly is movement. I'm not saying exercise. I'm saying movement. Keep moving. Keep moving with the nature, which is why I like beach walking, grounding, trekking. That is movement instead of going into the gym and struggling and actually exercising, not struggling, but breathing the same air and everything. Third is the mind. Like what Dr. Preeti exactly said is meditation along with pranayama, I think is the key to unlock the ancient key. I'm not talking about the future, but to unlock the ancient key, meditation and pranayama is your way forward. Fourth is sleep. Sleep is completely underrated. According to traditional Chinese medicine, you have to sleep. You have to rest your liver from 10 until 4 in the night, which means you should have dinner by 7, so that the energy that's passing through liver will help your liver, right? For all the autoimmune conditions, cancer, mitochondrial dysfunction, liver is your key. Liver is where you start. So you have to sleep well. Chemical detox for the amount of toxins that we inhale, drink, eat. Chemical detox is a big thing. Like what Dr. Preeti said, colon hydrotherapy. There's another one called Laghu Prakshalan in yoga, where you don't need a machine to cleanse your colon at all. You just have to drink a lot of water, do few asanas, and Laghu Prakshalan will clean your stomach from your small intestine. Colon will only do your large intestine. Laghu Prakshalan will clear your small intestine as well. So it helps quite a lot with all my SIBO patients. Then the last one is nutritional supplements. You have a whole lot of supplements which you take in the beginning of your treatment protocol, because your body probably is not in a state to digest whatever you eat. So give it that quick dose of nutritional supplements, then you can taper it down. So this is how I help all my patients to lead a disease-free life and eventually a longer period of time.
Okay. So it's more of very basic, and that's what I find it very fascinating when I was discussing with her. She was talking about earth, she was talking about water, she was talking about normal air, the way we are breathing things, and basic nutrition. And I find it so good that it's very, very basic level that we talk about, and that also can create a very larger impact. But one word, and thank you so much for that, and that kind of knowledge is important. Sometimes we try to do many big things but forget the basics. And one word that I picked up from you is the mind. Okay, that our mind plays quite a much role into how do we age and what's happening with us. So my next question goes to Dr. Preeti by saying, do you believe our mind plays a huge role into tricking us to be a certain way? What's the role of the mind in our aging and longevity? I guess you're on mute, doctor.
So I said mind plays a huge role in the way we live, right? And to share with you a very impactful thing which happened with me. When I started functional medicine, of course, before that, for 20 years, I was into corporate life and always stressed out, had migraine 3 days a week, was obese, had diabetes, had hypothyroidism, right? Had a lot of hair fall, a lot of patches on my face. I can go on and on and on about all this. But when I was reading functional medicine, one of my teachers and mentors spoke that, when I get stressed out, I use my resources from 30x to 100x times more. What do you think? Why are all of us being deficient in amino acids today? Magnesium, zinc, vitamin D, B12. Everything we have to take supplements. I was an anti-supplement person all throughout my life. When I started FM, I was a huge believer of food and other things and no supplements. But now I do get supplements because I've realized I'm not able to control my mind that effectively. 30 seconds of stress and everything what you've got from food is drained off. And then your body is screaming and telling you, I have no petrol. How do I move forward? Mind is that powerful. So whenever you think you're getting irritated, whenever you think somebody has done something to screw up your life, please take a deep breath and choose whether you want to be depleted of all what is making your body work, or you can let that incident go by, take 3 deep breaths, get your mind back in order, and have a man-to-man or woman-to-woman or woman-to-man conversation and find a solution that does not get repeated. It might sound very simple when I'm saying this, but I can promise you, I've been practicing this for last 6 years, 365 days every year, and I'm still trying. And I'm still failing, right? Of course, the number of times I'm failing has become less now, but it is still happening. So mind is extremely important. I want to give you guys a hack on how you can manage this with mind. Of course, one I've already said, but one very important hack is always have this worry pad with you. And always have a card. Of course, I can send you guys a card if you send me. I am happy and vibrant. So I have a worry pad with me. Whatever comes to my mind, I write it on it before I take any action on it. And second, I have this card, which I give to all my clients also. I am happy and vibrant. I have it in front of me. So I write it on a worry pad, read this card, and hopefully my mind is back in order. Right? So, but mind is exceptionally important, guys. I think this is one key thing for anti-aging.
Beautiful. And we need more hacks from you, but I'll move my next question to Dr. Sam. I want to know more about, I follow you. Okay. I follow you on Instagram everywhere. And I know that you're attending conferences. You were in Dubai, precision medicine conference that is happening. And we follow your stories and everything. I know that all the latest updates are with you. What is happening? You talked about ring. You talked about sleep. Is there any new research that is happening regarding mind? What's latest is happening in this longevity field?
See, many things are happening. Machine learning has been greatest of all. See, there's a good saying from Eric Topol. He says, artificial intelligence can never replace doctors, but it's going to replace doctors who do not use AI. So going forward, if the doctors are not going to use this technology, it's going to replace us. It could be in the smallest of the things, like using electronic health record, using digital prescriptions, or for example, I know Dr. Preeti as well uses CGMs for her patients. It's all smart way of assessing your clients from a distance. You're with them throughout without disturbing them. Still, you're receiving the data that you want from your patients. And you want your clients to be aligning to the small suggestions that you have made. So that can happen very well by using small things, by using some applications. There are certain calorie counting apps that have come, but no more use calories. We do not want calories. Yes, some smart things have come out like Ultra Human, which uses metabolic score as their proprietary tool. We are just not seeing how the glucose spikes are happening, but multiple things are taken into account: the sleep, their activity, their blood glucose levels. It all depends again on what time of the day you're eating, how stressful you have been the previous day, but that is going to affect your sugars the next day. How good your sleep was last night, because that is going to affect your sugars the next day. All these will affect your metabolic score. If you're eating right, if you're sitting right, if you're moving right, but not exercising, your metabolic score is going to go down. So like this, very smart apps, and technology is coming forward for doctors like all of us to use. What is the simple Aura ring that now we are seeing people wearing them, especially these very highly stressed out entrepreneurs who often complain, I have everything right in my life. Sleep, doctor, sleep is the one that is bothering me. See, so We want them to identify what is the trigger factor or what is that making them not to fall asleep. It could be as simple as them watching a mobile while falling asleep. We tell them, don't use the mobile, blue light, it's harmful. Nothing is going to change for them. Put them an Aura ring, let them see for themselves. Oh my God, yes, this is the reason, this is the culprit. Now they start listening to you. Now they start listening to themselves. So for some things, we need certain things as well, because why do we do tests when we actually know they have high inflammatory condition? We still want to show them their high CRP levels. Why do we do that? Because we want to show the evidence, this is what is happening, so you need to do that. So going forward, most of the things have already come in for longevity, like we do gut microbiome testing for most of these IBD individuals, gastric trouble. We're already doing it. We do cortisol levels, as Dr. Visalam, Dr. Preeti have intensely spoken on mind. Because if that is not dealt, nothing else is going to change in chronic diseases. So we test the cortisol levels. Now that has come into top number one of the most important tests that most of us doing now. Now, many people have knowledge on hormonal balance. They don't have to reach certain stage to get their hormones tested. We functional medicine doctors do very early on, because we identify early signs of certain hormone deficiencies, and we try to correct them as most naturally as possible most of the times, and wherever needed, some nutraceuticals to guide them, help them, and some sweating wherever needed. We push them. You need to sweat. It could be your IR, it could be your steam. It could be intense exercises. Some people don't exercise and they do exercise. But yeah, all these things. So gut microbiome is going on with it. And NAD levels, that is very new, but still I think Darshit would be knowing that better, because they're working on it already. They came up with the supplement. They came up with a lot of supplements. But as Dr. Preeti said, resveratrol, one of the most important molecules. We need to make our clients CEO of their own health. They have a right to know about nutrition. Everybody have to go through the knowledge of nutrition. I think everybody in their own sense and purpose should learn something about nutrition. Yes, there are doctors around, but proportion of doctors is low. On day-to-day basis, we can't teach more than 10 to 20 people. And as some of the doctors are already doing on YouTube channels, teaching clusters of people in a large way, like Dr. Preeti does, Dr. Visalam does. We identify a cluster of individuals, and I see Dr. Preeti teaching them, this is the cooking video for certain people having certain criteria. So they're trying to acknowledge people on a large cohort basis than treating one-on-one, which would save time for the clients as well. So cohort basis treatments are going forward. We need to make CEO of every client. They should be CEO of their own health. They should have a right to knowledge. They should be acknowledged with the nutrition knowledge. That is very, very important. The sequence of eating, the fasting. Fasting is a very simple, very cheapest treatment that is available. I think if we go on talking about it, it would take days together. So fasting, as simple a tool it is, now is gaining so much importance post-COVID. People have the knowledge now. Doctors are doing it. Before, doctors were only preaching, were not doing, but functional medicine doctors, most of them are not like that. There are people who had their own experiences either within themselves or in their family, have pushed them to turn themselves over and to turn million lives around with them. Yes, in terms of longevity, many things have come around: peptide therapies, IV nutrition therapies, hydrocolon therapy, as Doctor said, many deep breathing exercises that we need to teach them to de-stress themselves, to activate this parasympathetic nervous system, which is the hallmark of many chronic diseases. And yes, putting your cortisol levels to normal range, not low, not high. We should maintain optimum. So overall, all these hacks, tools, biomarkers, technology, IV, all these are going towards longevity in the near future. And AI, machine learning, deep learning is going to be very crucial part of learning, because we have to design a dashboard for our bodies. We have dashboards in the car. We have navigation system. We have an accelerator. We have brakes whenever we want. We can direct it. Same wise, we should have dashboard for our own body. how do we monitor our health? Are we sleeping right, waking up right? Are we exposed to sun? Are we breathing? Are we stress-free? Are we interacting? Are we talking? Are we socializing? Are we, and all these things, we need to make dashboard for our bodies going forward. Yes.
Thank you so much. I think along with the modern doctor, I should call you a techie doctor as well now. And one thing that you mentioned, I think, Darshit, there is something super exciting in the gut microbe that you're working on. Okay, can you just take a minute? And Dr. Visalam, I have a question for you, but because we are talking about gut microbe, I want Darshit to tell us what is happening in that area.
Right, of course. So, like Dr. Preeti also mentioned, and Dr. Samada also mentioned the importance of gut health. And like Dr. Preeti says that the Bharatis in our gut who are helping. So these are the trillions of microbiota organisms, right? But we don't have the right techniques to extract what they are actually doing currently in India. Because what's happening, we can tell you what kind of bacteria is there, but there is no evidence or there is no proof or no technology that can validate if that bacteria is alive. Because if it is dead in your gut, it doesn't make sense for it to be present there. It doesn't create an influence on your gut. Secondly, what they are doing. For that to understand, we need to take our technology to the next level. It is great that we have the support of our scientific advisor who is also present in the meeting. Dr. Uday Deshpande is a legendary person in gut health, actually, has worked abroad. And he helps us develop this test, which actually looks into what genes are expressed into the gut microbiome. What are they actually doing? Which metabolic pathway are they participating in? Which metabolic pathway are they worsening up? Are they giving an opportunity for a leaky gut to happen? Because microbiota has an important role in maintaining the tight junctions into the intestinal cell walls. So all these information is much required. Secondly, we have been talking about mind a lot. And it is very interesting that the gut-brain axis, the way it interacts, the way the complex carbohydrates are broken down by these guys to make SCFAs, which eventually has a role in neuroprotection and dopamine generation. It is just amazing what science has found out in terms of microbiota interactions in different axes. It's not just brain. There's nervous system involved. There is a gut hepatic axis. There is a gut kidney axis. There are a lot of axes where these microbiota made metabolites. They express more genes than us. They do majority of the job in our body. Then why are we not looking at their role? Why are we just looking at genomics? Is what we are chasing down to. We want to uncoil the complexity of gut microbiota that is there. And not just there. There is an oral microbiota. Your gut starts in your mouth. It lands up there. Right. So there is an oral microbiota. There are 4 diseases in dentistry that are purely caused by oral microbiota. Still, there is no oral microbiome test in India. That is the gap we need to fill in as the medical fraternity, as the research fraternity with it.
Darshit, we are really looking forward to whatever you come up with, because right now, so I've been working only on gut health and mental health for the last 3 years now, right? And every time I get stuck, I have to send tests to US, which is just not easy, right? And it's not always about the money. It's always about the hassle also. Just the thought that the sample has to go so far, some patients feel scared. Sometimes the kit doesn't reach you. Sometimes the kit doesn't reach those guys. So we're really looking forward, and I hope that, you come out with something nice and soon. And I've been in pharma, so I always need everything yesterday. So I think you better speeden up your efforts and get it out yesterday.
Absolutely. So we are trying to maintain the speed, but accuracy is what we aim at. So we take those steps very carefully because after all, it's a client, a person, and not a patient. Like
Oh, great. Thank you for all the effort you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
And Darshit, I think next webinar should be related to gut microbe. When you explained me that at the metabolite level and how advanced tests that you are working on. So I want to know more about it. I also take Resvit and Longevit. It's available on Decode website. So I want to know more about supplements. Okay. And my next question goes to Dr. Visalam is what are the basic supplements that you are recommending it to patients? And I do take based on the discussion with Rakesh, Darshit, Parth, everyone. Please tell us that what kind of supplements you prescribe or you recommend to the patients.
Thank you. Firstly, food should do your major nutritional input. But as functional medicine doctors, we do prescribe quite a number of supplements. And all the patients initially ask, why so many supplements? We come to you so that we can do this naturally. Then you're also putting us on tablets. So why so many supplements? Because those active components in that dosage, it's quite difficult to reach your body. So you need supplements. Take as many for your condition and then taper it down to maintenance. Your maintenance supplement will be the basic supplement that all of us have to take up to a certain age, especially when you're talking about decoding age. And after a certain age, if we start taking these supplements, then we might age, we might have a delayed age, if that's the right word I'm looking for. And also need to thank Dr. Samatha because awareness is a big thing today, and she brought in, so that is a very, very good point. Coming to specified points of what are the supplements we take. First supplement that we need to take is surely digestive enzymes, probiotics, fiber, vitamin D, a multivitamin, magnesium. Apart from this, if you're autoimmune, then, or if you have any other chronic diseases, you definitely need to add mitochondrial support. You definitely need to add liver support. All of these can also be herbal. For example, if you want liver support, you can do milk thistle, which has silmarin, then you can do punarnava, you can do dandelion, cranberry, green tea. Nano turmeric is a big thing today. Turmeric is a beautiful anti-inflammatory. Nano curcumin is a big thing today. You can do nano curcumin. When it comes to hormonal balance, then you can do Google, you can do Kanchna, especially when you're talking about hormone balance, insulin resistance that we really need to help with. So chromium, all your trichromium, your magnesium, all that will come under your insulin resistance. Selenium, iodine for your thyroid balance. So after your basic supplements, what you have, you need to supplement for those things. And you can always taper because supplements are not lifelong. That's another question that I keep getting is, do we have to take so many supplements lifelong? No, they're not lifelong. Your body will start learning how much it needs to secrete or how much it needs to store. So so that you can maintain it. Your body by itself will maintain it, especially like what Dr. Samatha said is or Dr. Preeti said is you exhaust your resources. So you refill them and make sure you don't exhaust them. At that point in time, you won't need supplements.
Wonderful. So what supplements and how long you need to take it, both the answers we have. I do have questions, but I understand Dr. Samatha is with you are already on site and you're taking the call from your office itself. I do have 3 questions, but I think we should ask people if they have questions because doctors needs to carry on with their work as well. So people, those who are attending the session, I think we can take a couple of questions from them. You can unmute yourself and ask. Anybody can raise hand as well. Is there an option of raising hand here?
There's a common forum where they can publish their questions.
Okay, perfect. Let me see. Yes, any question? Anyone?
I think the panelists were very comprehensive enough.
Okay, so by the time anybody is recording or typing something,
we have a raise of hand, Dr. Smitha, by Rajiv Kapoor.
Hi, very interesting talk, and after a long time, heard the, a new type of questions and new type of approach, normally different from the regular family doctors give. So it was interesting. I'm asking a specific question about a supplement. Can anybody give a view about a supplement CQ10?
CoQ10.
OQ10. What is, and are there any supplements which are more towards men and women, like the some which are more important for men and less important for women, and vice versa? So, yeah, these two questions at the moment I would like to. Anyone who can answer this?
Dr.
Yeah, I'll give my viewpoint, and then I think Samantha and Visalam can also add. So CoQ10 is a very interesting supplement. It was used for heart health, it's been used for heart health for a very, very long time. But in mitochondrial health, as you must have heard in the beginning that we spoke, that as a car has an engine, every cell in our body has a mitochondria. What happens if your engine does not work? Can your car run? No. Similarly, if your mitochondria does not work, you don't have the energy, you can't detoxify, you can't, do most of the functions of your body. And CoQ10 is an important thing required for good mitochondrial function. Of course, we need D-ribose, we need alpha-lipoic acid, and many other things for the mitochondria to work well. But CoQ10 is one of those important things which we require. Right? And that's the reason you see a lot of CoQ10 being prescribed. But please don't take it just like that on your own. Let your doctor know, because if CoQ10 is there, but alpha-lipoic is deficient, D-ribose is deficient, it won't give you the benefit which it would if all the things required it that chain to happen are given at one point of time. Right? And on this question, if Samantha and Visalam want to add anything, you can please. I thought this is the minimum everybody needs to know. Right?
Yes, I think we shouldn't overwhelm them with more information. As you said, it's an antioxidant. And yes, in certain chronic conditions, it could be Parkinson's or other long-standing conditions, we have low levels of CoQ10 in them. And that is also a major reason why we add mitochondrial support, as CoQ10 is one of them. We add to most of these chronic diseases patients. Yes. And heart disease being priority of them.
Right.
Yeah. May I also ask about...
so maybe, sorry, I was saying maybe Visalam can talk about more about, supplements for men and women. What is more important for whom?
So yeah, CoQ10, I think it's coenzyme Q. So it's an enzyme that is required for all our biochemical pathways. So when you ask for whom do we prescribe CoQ10, we all need a lot of CoQ10, but like what Dr. Samantha was saying is Parkinson's, neurodegenerative conditions require them, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia patients, they all require a lot of CoQ10 given in combination, like what Dr. Preeti said, ALA, L-carnitine, so they're all good combinations to supplement with CoQ10 to help your mitochondria. When it comes to, is there any specific supplement for men and women? Yes, today's market gives you a lot of men's supplement and women's supplement, but all of us need all the nutrition. But women today are more prone to anemia, including me. I mean, very surprisingly, one point when I took my blood test, my iron levels were low. My hemoglobin was still borderline, but my iron levels were low. And so very silently, women can become anemic. So iron is something very specific to women supplements. When it comes to male supplements, one thing that I supplement them with a herb is ashwagandha, because it helps their testosterone production. So that is something, that's where I delineate between men and women. Otherwise, a multivitamin is a multivitamin, a probiotic is a probiotic. I don't know if there's any specific for men and women supplements like that, but I mean, there are a lot of brands which does it, and I will be happy to subscribe.
Yeah, because as for men's supplement, it is more of aphrodisiacs. That is what's referred to. It's never told that anything other than aphrodisiacs are also supplements. And okay, while I'm asking, can I ask about one more supplement which is quite popular? Is ginkgo biloba. Has anyone heard about ginkgo biloba?
Correct me if I'm wrong, all the other panelists. I think it is a traditional Chinese one, and it is highly anti-inflammatory, anti-nerve inflammatory. Ginkgo biloba is also an anti-nerve inflammatory. So for neurodegenerative conditions or neuropathic pain, ginkgo biloba is specifically given.
It's also used for weight loss quite a lot, and there are some very irrational videos on the effect of ginkgo biloba present online, and they actually make you feel as if that is the solution for a lot of weight and you can lose weight with it. But that's not true.
Yeah.
Yes, in combination, I do use it in some cases, as Visalam said, as an anti-inflammatory, and that ways it works well.
And also for brain health and circulatory issues as well.
The problem
so
with
wherever
Indian
inflammation
herbs,
is there.
the problem with Indian herbs, and as they are described in Indian books in Indian way, every herb seems to be doing everything. Like there was a joke which my parents used to tell me, my father used to, harad, you know harad? You understand harad?
Yes, it's in Trifla combination.
Harad sabki mata, jiski maa nahi hai, uski maa harad hai. This was the kind of saying. मतलब harad को किसी भी जगह fit कर दो आप.
Yeah, but Rajiv, there can be logic behind this, because see, harad is used in Trifla, and it's a great thing if you want to keep your colon clean. Yeah. And our Ayurveda is completely based on the fact that if your colon is clean, you will be healthy. And in fact, to top that up, I will want to share that I started colon hydrotherapy in my clinic last year. And I see there is a question also on that. So in colon hydrotherapy, what happens is at 42 degrees of temperature, 18 times 54 liter waters goes into a colon and is thrown out in a period of 40 minutes.
Oh.
Right. The water is completely filtered. You have 2 filters there.
Like a complete car wash.
Yeah, like complete car wash. So if you've never done a colon wash and done a car wash, you exactly know whom do you love more, your car or yourself, right? And I tell people you can miss going for a haircut, but you should not miss coming for a colon hydrotherapy. And a lot of my clients came and said, we used to try and meditate, but we could never meditate. But after 3 sessions of colon, my meditation duration has increased. Can this happen, Dr. Preeti? Of course, this can happen. Because the moment you clean your colon, as I told you that with me, I'm very particular about diet you take after colon. I'm very particular about what are the type of probiotics you take after colon. So whatever you will do otherwise in 3-6 months with colon hydrotherapy, we are able to do that a little faster. Of course, it's not a miracle. It also has a way, it has a journey, but it just makes things faster. But meditation is all about your mind being in peace. And as Darshit said, there is a gut and brain axis. If your gut is clean, and 90% of all your bacteria is in your colon, and 90% of your genes within yourself are the genes of the bacteria. So sometimes I actually wonder whether we are human beings or bacterial beings.
Yeah.
Right?
I would like to interrupt here, considering the time constraint that we
have. I have one more question.
Rajiv, Rajiv, I'll connect with you offline, and we'll take all your questions and connect with all the doctors again. We'll take one more question.
Sorry, Dr. Smita, there is just an online question from YouTube Live. I'd like to take that up. So it's from Arvind Kumar, and he has a question on about the tech part of whatever the things are going on in the longevity industry. And like Dr. Samada mentioned, the application of ML and AI. So we do have, we work on the big data and omics. So we actually use a lot of machine learning algorithms and train, because we are the second largest data spot in medical world in the entire globe. And we have the least amount of data. All the reference databases that are present is all American or European. So to make our data set stronger, we need to first collect the data, and that's how our the models will develop, the learning will develop in the algorithms. And secondly, someone is repeatedly asking the metformin question. So first of all, metformin is a prescribed drug in India. It should not be taken without evidence. It is true that some scientists do describe it as a longevity drug and do take that in their daily regimens, but it is still advisable for more evidences on more biomarkers of longevity rather than, because something we don't understand completely, we should not use, is as simple as that. And that's the same case with metformin and rapamycin right now.
Yeah, I would like to add something on metformin here, since you said it's a prescription medicine in India. So there are certain indications, especially it is in diabetes, pre-diabetes, PCOS, and it is a choice of drug for gestational diabetes as well. And depending on every patient scenario, some people use it in insulin resistance, especially could be weight gain or PCOS, these things. Yes.
Metformin is a pleiotropic drug by science, right? So yes, it will help all your organs, but it also depends upon what you're using for it. Cannot be used rationally. If
Yes.
your liver is fine, if your fasting sugar levels are fine, if you don't have much fluctuating sugar levels, if your LFP is fine, then you should not be taking metformin unless you're not able to lose the weight yourself. You have so many patients coming and saying, "Doctor, I do everything you say, but I'm still unable to move the scale." Then you can give a small dose for a small period of time, but it has to be very, very case-based. And like what Dr. Dashit and Samantha said, it needs a lot of guidance to take metformin.
Also, yes, and considering if a person is willing to use metformin for, metformin for their mTOR and AMPK pathways, there are definitely better options out there, like we just discussed, CoQ10 and synergies of CoQ10, which Dr. Preeti Nanda has been repeatedly talking about. Synergies are very important. You need to make sure 1 + 1 becomes 3 and not becomes 1 + 1 is equals to 2. And we can use those things for mTOR and avoid the pharmaceutical grade drugs that are currently available.
Let's take one last question. Likita is raising hand. So Likita, your question, and that will be the last question for the session.
Thank you, Dr. Smrita. I just have one question. So based on our discussion, what would be the suggestion? Like, what is the ideal time to start this journey of longevity?
Like what Dr. Preeti said yesterday.
Yesterday.
Exactly.
Yesterday. There's time. We all have to value time, and you should have started yesterday, if not the last minute, but if not this minute, the present. Today, this minute is what you have. Decide that you have to go on a longevity journey. Start with detoxing, start with meditation, start with pranayama, start your journey, and then the guidance will come along.
Great. And what I want to add here,
well.
and what I want to add here is, see, our ancestors in Ayurveda always believed in this. And that was the logic behind taking care of mother's health. Because the day she conceives a child, that's the day and time when the child's health starts getting written. Unfortunately, I realized it pretty late, right? And a lot of us have realized it pretty late. And I think we were on that bandwagon that why should we be restricted? What will happen? But our ancestors knew better. So it is yesterday. That's the time when this journey needs to start. So even before you know, it has already started. You can correct few lanes and get it better now.
But also
Best
to
question.
tell you, I think start before you're diagnosed with any disease or you have any symptoms. I think that is also the right place for you to start your longevity journey so that you're on a preventive track.
Correct.
So,
I would like to add
one
here.
last question. Very important last question.
Mm-hmm.
Can I come ahead? You see, the longevity and sleep are very deeply connected, which I can feel, because what will be your views for the best hack for sleep, barring the benzodiazepines and zolpidem? If you keep them aside, what is the best medicine you have found, herbal or non-herbal, which works equally? And and besides melatonin.
Balance your mind before sleeping, sir. If you can do that, if for 2 hours before sleeping, you have no access to Wi-Fi, no access to blue screens, you are doing deep breathing, you are reading some meditative stuff, that's the baseline. अगर घर की नींव अच्छी नहीं है तो मकान कितना भी खूबसूरत कर लो कुछ नहीं होना.
पता क्या है कि जितने भी रिलैक्सेशन और गाइडिंग मेडिटेशन है और हिप्नोथेरेपिस्ट हैं, मुझे समझ नहीं आती है किनकी बात, वो आपको लेटते ही बोलते हैं.
Mr. Rajiv, I think I'll, Dr. Preeti, how to take your consultation, or Dr. Sam, are you available online?
Yeah.
Because I want to.
We are available
Want to wind
online.
up?
Available
So, Rajiv,
online.
you
Yes.
definitely need all three of them, their appointments, so that you can start your journey.
So, Smita, next time, when you have such a session, time will go beyond control.
Yeah,
I think that is the reason we have.
Considering
That's the reason we have a
reputation.
moderator.
Yeah, and considering the reputation of the 3 doctors, we cannot let the patients wait also.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely agree.
Thank you.
But
Perfect.
Thank
I
you.
think we should conclude today's session.
you.
Varsha, could you please help us to take
Certainly,
closer
certainly.
message? Yeah, thank you.
Well, since we've come to the end of the webinar now, well, definitely everyone's going to agree that it was a very informative session. I think there were a lot of queries, but unfortunately we cannot take them because the webinar is limited and we have a time to follow also. So we appreciate each one's contribution here and for making time. For Decode Age webinars such as these will only add to our milestones in changing the narrative of aging. Aging is inevitable, but healthy living is a choice, and we want to give everyone that choice, not only with our products, but also with the vision of Decode Age. Along with that, a humble appeal that for us to grow as a community, we need the support of all our patrons and viewers. Therefore, please tag us on social media, keep the conversation going. Also, post this event, there will be a lot of engagement that we will continue with our patrons and viewers. I think that's pretty much a wrap on today's webinar, and hopefully we'll be able to come back with a new topic and a new webinar very soon, and we'll keep everyone posted on that. Thank you all for initiating this conversation. We look forward to our next webinar very soon. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.